the vigor and drive and fire that I had in myself. It wasn't just in the game. It was a lifestyle that I formed for my entire life. Hey there, my name is Jeannail, or you can call me Cuddlecore. I'm a pro Tekken 7 player for Equinox Gaming and Red Bull Gaming. Today, I will be your Paidia Guide. The first step we'll be discussing is having a training partner. This is one of my favorite steps. Having a training partner is essential to your growth. A training partner is that person, that confidant, who is there to not just better themselves, but they're there to better you as well. They're there to push you. Competitive games, sports are always evolving. So having a training partner who is growing along with that competition keeps you up to date on different strategies and techniques. They know you, they know how hard you train. They're one of the only people who really understand how hard you work. I have a training partner. His name in-game is Shadow20Z, one of the best players in the world. Whenever either of us accomplish something, we are there to uplift each other. That's something that I've cherished about Shadow and I, our relationship, our friendship. We are always proud of each other's accomplishments, and that is what training partners do. So how can we find a group or a person that we can train with? I know a hurdle that can present itself when doing all of this is approaching people. So being able to reach out, or even meeting somebody at a local event, is a great way to establish a potential training partner. You may have to deal with people who will say no, they don't want to train with you. And sometimes it's based on skill level, and that's all right. But all you can do is put yourself out there. You can start off with introducing yourself, be friendly, say who you are, where you're from, maybe even a slight compliment, or hey, I love how you play the game, or hey, I love how you play this particular character. Mind if I play you a bit? So you'd be surprised how many people will say, yes, I'd love to play with you, or yes, let's meet up offline. People have asked me questions like that, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And then I go, hey, yeah, sure. I can give you some advice, show you some tips. It makes their day, and I learned something in the process too. Competing in your local scene, offline and online, is insanely important. I usually recommend this for anybody new coming into fighting games. It's important to get familiar with your scene, get acquainted with them. I usually don't recommend players jump from completely playing online to going to a major event with like 400 people. It's really easy to get discouraged when you're a new player and you throw yourself into a tournament where the caliber of players is insanely high. So to ease yourself into it, to give yourself that time you need to adjust to meeting new players, getting better in terms of fighting different play styles, and just giving yourself time to improve first. It is so important and essential to go to your local scene, or to find that scene. I started at locals. We would meet up at these events, at these gaming hubs. We would sit, we would play long sets. I would learn, I would ask questions. And I felt like I always had a chance to take my time in learning when I would show up to the locals, because I didn't feel like there were 20 people trying to compete or play against my opponent. It gave me that one-on-one time to learn from people who are more experienced than me. So the more experienced I became, the more confident I became in my gameplay. Playing in the suburbs, I went to the city and I began to make top 8s. And it felt so good having friends by that time who showed up. And whenever I played in the top 8 or playing in pools, they were right there cheering me on, always celebrating. Those kinds of feelings, that type of emotion that you feel in that moment, I really think is the reason why I continued on with it as long as I did, turning it from a hobby into a career. And it all started because of showing up to a local. It takes time to find the right group of people that you mesh with in the community. And it's a process. You'll find that there are people who like you, and there are times where you'll find that there are people that don't like you, and that's okay. That's why the beauty of how big a community is, it's so valuable, because you can find your group of friends, your group of training partners that works for you. But it's a process. And once you find that group, you find kind of this space where you belong. So we've got the training partner. We started showing up to our locals. So now is the third and final step: finding a coach. It's so important. Sometimes we are so submerged in the fight that it's so easy to miss multiple things that are going on. For example, Tekken is 60 seconds. It's a fast-paced game, and it's so easy to look up and go, oh wow, the round's over. And to learn how to adapt from round to round takes experience, and sometimes years of that, of understanding how to adapt, how to evolve and grow. But that also comes with watching footage. I truly feel that a coach and a training partner are kind of similar in that way. They kind of go hand in hand. They do provide that emotional support, and mentally they help challenge us in how we see the game, and they kind of help with those factors outside of the game that can affect gameplay. Being coached while watching the footage has helped me see the game a certain way. It shows you step by step what was successful and the things that we can tweak. That's something that I do with my coach on a regular basis. Because of him, over the last year, I've gotten multiple first place finishes and lots of top 8 finishes, and my gameplay has improved. It just, in a crazy way, just skyrocketed. Without a coach, I wouldn't have been able to get to that point. It took me a second to get a coach, but I would never trade this experience and this relationship for the world. A good coach will always be like, hey, it's all right that this happened, but we'll get them next time. Or, hey, I'm proud of you, you did great. Or, you met this goal, you killed it. No matter what, even in your losses, they are encouraging, because they know that side of you, that you have what it takes to be the best player that you can be. They are there to remind you, assure you that it is okay to not be perfect, to be flawed, but not to promote yourself with self-hate. It's really easy to not like ourselves when we don't do well, but it's a process, it's a journey. And the coach is there to remind you of that. It's so important to have a coach that works well with you in terms of chemistry, because that makes all the difference in how you'll learn, how you'll receive the information. But just as important as that is, coming to the table with an open mind, not being too stubborn, willing to ask questions, but also willing to put in the work, because the coach can't do all the work for you. You have to be willing to put in time outside of your sessions to grow and improve, and to take what the coach is saying to heart. In today's pathway, we learn the importance of having a training partner, finding your locals, and having a coach and or someone to watch your gameplay. The longer I continue to apply these skills, I learned that I was treating my career with the same dedication, focus, and drive as a traditional sports athlete. I learned that I was an athlete too, because I cared so much, and I applied myself, I sacrificed, I dedicated myself, but I put in the work. We are esports athletes. If you're looking to start your own esports journey, start by going to your local meetups for the games you love. Socialize, and ultimately, have fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jeannail Cuddlecore Carter, and I've been your guide.
Plugging this in, tell me how you're feeling.
When I get mad, that kind of stuff doesn't matter because I know it's just good Tekken at that
Yeah.
point. At the end of the day, we're all trying to improve. So I can't be too mad about that because my mom always said, like, yeah, they're your friends, but they're also your opponents on the battlefield. So at the end of the day, you also support your team. That's what I
Good.